Hi guys, today's episode will be about my lost brother, or father I could say. When looking at our age, he could be my father, but when looking at our looks, I could be his grandfather. I recently discovered his channel on YouTube and he made me feel much better about myself. Apart from the fact that he looks really young for his age, he made me feel better since his ideas to improve camera gear performance are even more crazy, or at least same crazy like mine ones. It's really cool to know that I'm not the only mad camera guy under the sun. If you want to know what YouTuber I'm talking about, please stick around, and if you also want to see my craziest ideas, make sure you will watch this episode to the end. Of course, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you will not like this video for some reason, hit like button 3 times. Also, let me know please in the comments what was your craziest camera improvement idea. I wanted to start this video by saying that since I remember I was always coming up with ideas to improve the way I film. But I realized straight away that wouldn't be true. I'm actually new to this game. I think all those years I was actually pretty happy with my crappy filming. I had zero understanding of videography. It all did start maybe a year or two ago, and the main reason behind the fact that I did start trying to make my own camera gear was the fact that prices of those things are crazy high. And unfortunately, decent camera guy needs a ton of equipment. Of course, some of you will say that's not the case, that it's all about skills and the story we are telling with the film. And surely often you will be right. But let's face it, you can't shoot, for example, BMW commercial without a ton of camera gear. In theory, you could. In theory, anything is possible. And yes, there are exceptions, but the general rule is the better equipment you have, the better results you will achieve. And when after a very long break from playing with the video, I decided to jump back on this horse again and got my better than average camera, I very quickly realized camera itself is not enough. My journey then began, and since then I can't stop buying new things for filming. Surely I will not name everything I got, but I will try quickly to name as many things as I can. Camera I got was Lumix G7, entry-level camera. I had zero clue about video or photography, so I was learning everything on the go. I actually made some amateur videos throughout the years, even a 2-hour amateur feature movie, but now I see clearly I didn't know anything about filming. I still feel I don't know anything, but for sure I know more than I knew years ago. When I was getting that Lumix G7, I thought I'm actually getting a regular DSLR camera. I had zero understanding that I'm actually buying micro four thirds camera, and that's only the starting point. Straight away it became obvious as well for me that the lens that I thought I carefully picked is useless indoors, where apparently lighting conditions are poor. I felt like an idiot. Of course I had to buy another lens, and thanks God that second lens, though much cheaper, was much better indoors. Around same time I got a microphone for the camera, because of course apparently basically all on-camera microphones are crap. I got 2 mics. One is pretty cool. It's a Rode Video Micro, the one that I'm using actually right now. But second, unfortunately, started my infamous list of camera add-ons that only collect dust. Second microphone, or I should say voice recorder, was Zoom H1N. Supposed to be very good, but it's hard to use and of course not working properly with my current camera, which is Lumix GH5. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You upgrade your gear from time to time. I moved from G7 to GH5 basically because G7 had no in-body stabilization. I will try to stop here because I get into too much details. You will be able actually to watch my rant about my dust collectors in my other video reviewing gear I have. Now I just quickly list things I bought and move to finally introduce my brother from other mother. So what I bought: extra battery for camera, lav mic, that small microphone you attach around your neck, wireless microphone. I know already that I need another one. Extension cable for microphone, ND filters, camera dolly, camera slider, light stands, microphone stand, light, RGB lights. I know also I need more lights for sure. What else I got? Arm supports for slider when it's on tripods. I don't count tripod because I had it already. I had to buy batteries and charger for light separate. Some attachments for lens for close-ups, lens rings, a gimbal, reflective and light diffusing blend, softbox, remote for a teleprompter, dummy battery for camera with cable, so I can connect my camera to mains or to power bank. I got of course power bank too, special card for white balance, another lav mic, splitter for audio, light holder for softbox. By the way, links to all those things you can find in the description below. Probably that's not all. That's all what I can think of now. But I think that list is proving my point that when you are serious enough about video, you have usually no choice but to buy dozens of bits and bobs. Rarely that stuff is cheap, to be honest, and even when it is, it's all adding up. All that was pushing me to try to make some DIY camera gear from what I have lying around the house. I was looking at some of those things and looking at the prices, and I was thinking I can make it myself for a fraction of the price. In the same time, I was watching tons of YouTube videos on the subject and developed that habit of thinking always, how can I make particular camera tool myself? Looking back, I think it was a massive waste of time in almost every case I tried, but for some reason I just simply have that need to always try to make something out of nothing. I'll tell you about some of my crazy ideas and tries in a minute, so make sure you will watch this video to the end. But now I wanted to finally introduce you to my lost brother. It's Markus Pix. His real name is Markus Rotkranz. I can't remember when I first noticed him on YouTube, probably when I was doing research on how to make this or that thing. I think probably when I wanted to make my own DIY slider, because I clearly remember one of his videos about sliders. I also remember being shocked seeing him in his mansion talking about DIY slider solutions, like he was literally talking about him pulling camera by strings underneath the desk to get slider type of shots. That time I thought that probably he must be renting the mansion or that he is in, or he's in some kind of hotel, because I couldn't simply believe that a guy that would own a mansion couldn't afford a slider. And then I kind of forgot about him for a while, maybe occasionally seeing him on YouTube from time to time. There was something 80s or 90s about him, felt like he's maybe living in Hawaii, because the way he dressed, his haircut, and strong tan he had. And for some reason he came back on my YouTube screen recently. I've watched a good few videos that he made, and finally I have understood that I'm dealing with same crazy wacko like myself. I eventually realized also that he's rich, but he just enjoys coming up with his own DIY solutions regarding camera gear. It's kind of similar in my case. I'm not rich obviously, but truth is I can probably afford to buy all stuff that I try to design myself. I just do it because I think I simply enjoy it. it's still a lot of fun. It's very rewarding and gives loads of satisfaction. Even if the idea turns out to be stupid in the end, you still get that kick that lets you think that you're another Edison or at least engineer, because you almost got it, though you didn't really. Anyway, Markus seemed to have similar drive like myself for inventing camera solutions. I think his most crazy idea was trying to stabilize camera with helium balloons. That was crazy even for my standards. His enthusiasm for trying this idea was crazy cool. The idea was mad, but I would do the same, to be honest, because if you will not try new ideas, then you will never develop. And who said that solutions that are currently available are the best? From what I see, there's a lot of space for improvements. One of the things to note is that Markus has massive experience and knowledge regarding photography and film. He actually made a professional Hollywood movie years ago. He has also enormous camera and gear collection. So when he's coming with some idea, he knows exactly what tools are available right now on the market, and he knows limitations of those things too. Also, he knows that people in Hollywood often improvise to achieve certain visual effects, and the fact that some solutions looks funny does not mean they are not good. People don't see on the screen what's happening behind the scenes. Let's just take most popular special effect used in Hollywood right now, green screen. Actors look ridiculous in those green tight suits with dots on their faces, but it doesn't matter. It's all about the final effect on the screen. Obviously, green screen is now a mainstream filming tool, so nobody's saying it's crazy, but I have no doubt there was a lot of laughing back in the days when it was first introduced. Other interesting ideas of Markus were regarding sliders, diffusers, ND filters, and so on. Some of them were overkill, some make actually sense or help me understand at least how things work, because you learn a lot when playing with those ideas. So I really recommend his channel, which is far more than bunch of crazy ideas. In this video, I need to make one honorable mention. Most people that surrounds me just ignore me and my crazy ideas, but there was one guy who got crazy excited and was very helpful when I was trying to design my own slider. It was great help, and his opinions and ideas were really valuable. So big shout out here for my good friend Carol. And now a few words about some of my craziest ideas. Probably my biggest project was trying to build my own slider. In the end, it cost me basically more than it would if I would just simply buy it. Slider is basically a track for the camera that makes look shots nice and smooth. I wanted to use this slider for interviews and for talking head videos like this one. So I wanted my slider to make back and forth moves. Cheap, decent slider doing this was this one made by a company called GVM. It costs around $400. Expensive ones are between $1,000 to $2,000. Of course, I didn't want to spend even $400, so I decided to try to build my own slider. I regret a little bit I didn't save any prototypes I have built, but hopefully the old footage I have will give you idea how dedicated I was to this idea. So basically I created those funny machines that in theory were able to move camera from one side to the other continuously. In the middle of designing my own slider, I bought also a camera dolly that was able to do back and forth moves. It only cost me $50. Unfortunately, it was crazy loud. So of course, next thing I did, I designed a solution for it. I created a box for it with glass front. And that was actually an idea that did work. It isolated that humming engine noise, and I was really proud of this. Problem was the dolly was stopping working sometimes. Till today I don't know why. So it was pretty unreliable. Sometimes it worked for at least an hour, sometimes it was stopping after 5 minutes. Still usable, but not reliable. And since I have started to collaborate with my musician friend on certain projects, I decided to simply buy that $400 GVM slider to make myself look more professional. To sum it up, basically I lost a lot of time and additional $50 on the camera dolly that is now collecting dust. It's actually not bad and very portable solution, but not in use right now, since I have that GVM slider. Unfortunately, when I got the GVM slider, my problems did not finish, because or you need to put it on two light stands, but then it's kind of in the way, or you can put it on tripod. But when on tripod, you need special support arms. And again, these are very expensive. One costs like $30. You need obviously two of them, so it's $60 for two sticks basically. First, I was trying to make my own ones. Then in the end, of course, I bought those support arms. But guess what? I sent them back since they were not really supporting slider well enough. They were getting twisted and really awkward to install. Also, it was next to impossible to adjust the height of it, so I just went back to using light stands. Just another example that there are solutions there, but it doesn't mean they are always good and best. Those arm supports for sure were not a good solution. By the way, those light stands are not perfect solution too. So it is one of those things that I'm still thinking of how to improve. Additional problem I had to solve was the problem I had when I wanted to use teleprompter with slider. So I designed a little tray to hold the teleprompter when on slider. That's one of my ideas that actually worked. I used some of metal sheet for this that I found in my shed, so it cost me nothing. I just mentioned teleprompter. It's basically a box with a piece of glass inside that you put in front of your camera, and you can read the script while looking directly into the camera. The glass is reflecting the text that is being displayed by phone or tablet lying underneath the camera. I love my prompter. I used this prompter in this video as well. And of course I made it myself, and it also cost me nothing. I basically made it out of the box after baby wipes and a piece of glass from some picture frame that I robbed from the wall. It looks horrible, but I actually use it all the time. Simple teleprompter like that costs around $100. I got also recently remote control for this teleprompter for like $5, so now I love it even more. Next on my list is ring for controlling focus in my camera. As some of you might know, autofocus on Lumix cameras is a joke. So the best way supposed to be to use manual focus, but it's very awkward to use it, at least for me. So I ordered rings for it. But hey, of course, they don't work as they should, so they joined the dust collectors list, and I just made my own ring, which works fine. Most of the time I tap on the screen to grab focus, but from time to time I use my ring, and it is on my camera all the time, even right now. If it would be useless, I would of course take it off. And why other rings didn't work? On those type of lenses in micro four thirds, unfortunately they just spin in circles, so ring must be properly balanced. I tried to use two rings, but that one part was too long and was hitting the microphone on top of the camera. So my ring made out of some rubbish metal band is doing much better job. That actually reminds me that the way my brain works these days is that every time I see something, I straight away think how I could use it with my camera. No matter what it is, I always see some usefulness of things as camera gear. I'm in the middle of redesigning my prompter to make it more portable, and recently also my other friend inspired me to design prompter that I could use on selfie stick outside. It's gonna be a challenge for sure, but as you probably noticed already, I like challenges. Another thing I was trying to recently make was Softbox. I already have a big diffuser, which I find really good, but I thought I need some sort of box to stop light from spreading on sides. I wasted a lot of cardboard and tape on it, and in the end, of course, it landed in the bin, and I just bought Softbox. I tried anyway, so my conscience is clear. There's more things I created, of course, or I was trying to create, but these would be those most interesting ones. Funny thing is that when my wife sees me starting to make those crazy inventions, she's telling me straight away just to go and buy the thing instead. She has totally enough of rubbish lying around the house and looking at me wasting time on it. Before she was not too keen about me buying gear, so in that funny way, through my persistence, I got green light for buying stuff. On footnote, I also got a warning recently that my access to credit card and Amazon account could be shortly shut down simply because apparently I buy too many things. All the experience I gained taught me, unfortunately, that most of the time it's just better to buy the thing because the time you need to put is much more valuable than the thing costs. Of course, technically, I do all that in my spare time, but I do value my spare time as much as any other time I have. So these days I'm not that keen to create my own camera gear anymore. Well, maybe less keen, but still keen actually. It's good experience. You surely understand better how things work, and there's great satisfaction when you succeed. Though with my slider prototypes, I was happy even when knowing they will not really work in practice. I will surely continue coming up with crazy ideas, especially that I know that some of them can work. And I feel much better knowing that I'm not the only crazy guy. So a big thank you to Markus for making me feel more comfortable with my craziness. It feels much better to be in the company of a great photographer, and makes me think that I'm on the right track after all. So that will be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and share it, and subscribe to my channel so you'll not miss videos like that in future. Also, let me know please in comments which idea you think was the best and which was the worst. Share with myself please also your own wacky original ideas. I hope I see you all shortly in my next video. Take care guys, and stay crazy.